On the backseat train. Dun, 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 dun. What it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. It's Monday. It's the week after our Thanksgiving break. I feel like it just went by too fast. I didn't get a chance to do any videos this past weekend because I had my son this weekend and he was sick. And those of you that, have toddlers or had toddlers, because they do get older. He was sick. He had a cold, he had an ear infection, and, he was just miserable. You know what I mean? And as a parent, you hate to see that. And it's like, he was real clingy and real fussy, and, he only wanted to be around me. He ain't go to nobody else. So, I had that. So, I had to give him my undivided attention. So, yeah. So he's, doing a little bit better now, and he's getting better every day. So that's a good thing. So, and I ain't mad because that's my baby. I'll do anything for my son. But anyway, I didn't get a chance to do a video after the Thanksgiving Day game because it was just horrendous, horrible. I mean, it's a lot to put in perspective. And guys, I like to speak on different things than the norm. I know that I'm a fan that thinks outside of the box. I think what got me there is having this channel, right? As a YouTuber, as a content creator, as a vlogger, I feel like it's my job to, I can't just be a fanboy, you know what I mean? Like I used to back in the day, because I used to just think like, oh, I just looked at the bare minimum when it came to the team, and I just was like, whatever. I'm a very cerebral individual, and I didn't know I was until I got this channel. I think a lot, and I think outside the box, and when things happen, I pretty much, I put more into it than sometimes other people would. And of course, your average fan is not going to do that. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, because, when you're a fan, you love your team and you don't care nothing else. You know what I mean? Every fan has their opinion. Every fan thinks a different way. Some fans are a little, some fans are pessimistic. Some are optimistic. Some don't give a shit. Some be like, if we lose, we jumping off the bandwagon. Those are the ones I don't like. But me personally, like I told you guys, I've been a Cowboy fan since I was 4 years old. But I look at it like this. I would never jump ship. Understand that this is a COVID year. Understand that you're not going to get a good gauge on any team this year. Even the teams that have winning records. It's like, okay, you understand those are the teams that really didn't have any changeover in their locker room per se, outside of having new draft picks. But again, all they did was add. They didn't take away per se. Their coaching staffs are pretty much the same. Some of them may have lost one coach, but they still had a coordinator that was there that moved up or something like that. Like, like Green Bay, of course, we got Mike McCarthy now, but, that's the really only change they had on their staff pretty much. For the most part, major changes. But you look at with the Cowboys, like everything changed. The whole complete staff have changed. And I'm just going to go through, well, after I talk about the game, of course, I'm going to go through some of the players that, everybody's like, oh, we should get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. And, sometimes I feel like fans just they get to a point where they get tired of losing. I get it. And you always want your team to win, but I know some fans get into a situation in their mind that they think, let's just bowl this whole shit over and just start over. And it's like, I don't think that the Cowboys are in that type of situation. I think that this COVID thing has a lot to do with what's going on. It's affecting other teams as well. It ain't just the Dallas Cowboys. You look at the Broncos. The Broncos, because of their quarterbacks being around Jeff Driscoll, they didn't even have a quarterback to play in the game. They had a wide receiver on their practice squad start a game, and they got their ass demolished. So understand that all these teams are going through stuff with COVID. You know what I mean? Like I said, but you look at the teams that are doing well. If you look at their staff, they didn't have changeovers like that. Of course, and I said this in the offseason before this year, that those are the teams that are going to have the advantage this year, the ones that didn't have changeovers. Now, all I hear is from these talking heads is this, or the Cowboys suck. They talk about Ezekiel Elliott. They talk about Jalen Smith, and I just get tired of that. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. Now, to this Washington game. You let them score 40, was it 41 points? I stopped counting. They had 2 touchdowns on defense. And who was that? Montez Sweat. That was a great play by him. He literally like he punked the shit out of Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton threw the ball. I've never seen a defensive lineman jump that damn high. He jumped up and just like covered Dalton's view of passing the ball and just took the shit out of his hand and then just ran it back for a touchdown because they were only, 30 yards outside of the end zone, and it was free run. There's nobody there to stop them. Damn it. Now, I can't blame Dalton for everything because, again, this offensive line, you lose Zach Martin and Cam Irving in the same damn drive. The same damn drive. The first drive of the game on offense, you lose 2 offensive linemen. Jesus Christ. Now, this shit is crazy. You look at that, right? We know that Zach Martin right now, because Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins are not present because of their injuries, season ending, that is. Zach Martin was your best lineman available. So when he went down, I know a lot of people was like, shit, well, Thanksgiving is over. Shout out to Law Nation. Law Nation put on Twitter, he was like, well, damn, I'm glad I ate dinner before the game. That was just you got swept by Washington, a team that offense is not the greatest. I mean, they have Terry McLaurin, which is their deep threat, their best wide receiver, their best weapon on offense that they have. You allowed them to demoralize you on defense. Now, the defense was playing all right in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it was like, after that punt situation that should not have been called right there, everything just went to shit. It's like the team was just like, well, damn, I feel like with that type of call, you guys don't value us, so we're not even going to... It's like the team just like stopped trying after that. I noticed the defense started getting tired because they were out there more often than they should have. When you don't have good offensive linemen out there, you're not able to run the ball effectively. You're not able to provide enough time in the pocket for the quarterback to throw to a wide receiver. You get to a situation where, okay, what the hell are we supposed to be doing here? Now, Kellen Moore should have done better in calling the game plan, especially you called a good game plan in the last game with the Vikings, and then you just go to shit in Washington. I just don't understand that because of the simple fact that, well, with Washington, you went to shit, and then like your play calling just went kaput. We know that Kellen Moore is an offensive coordinator. He's young. He's still learning. It's a lot of growing pains there, but he's got to get it together too. He's got to understand that, like, you have to run the ball. We know that he don't like running the ball like that. He's a pass-happy type of coordinator because that's what he was when he played football at Boise. They threw the ball more than anything. Now, you have to understand, and he has to understand that, when you have a guy like Ezekiel, and I understand that he fumbled. I get it. I still think that the Arizona Cardinal game was his worst game of the year because he lost 2 fumbles and both of them resulted into a touchdown for the other team. Now, in this game, he had a fumble loss, but he only had 10 freaking attempts. What did he have? 35 yards? 10 attempts? That is no bueno. And that is coaching right there. That is on the coordinator. That is on Mike McCarthy. Should have told him, like, look, we need to run the ball more here. I understand that Zeke put the ball on the ground right there, but Zeke is out there trying. Zeke is like your bell cow. That boy grinds yardage, and when he fumbled, he came back and had like a big run after that on that next drive. So my whole thing is Zeke is still a dynamic running back, and I'm pretty sure that any team out here would love to have a guy like that. Zeke gets 3.3 to 4.1 yards a carry. But on 4th and 1, you throw the fucking ball? That's coaching. And Kellen Moore got to get it together. You're calling the plays, sir. You have to understand that when you're in a 4th and 1 position and you have one of the best running backs in the league, which is supposed to be one of your leaders on the team, and you don't run the ball on 4th and 1, what does that tell Zeke? What does that look like to Zeke? Does he think in his head like, damn, they ain't got no faith in me to run the ball right here when this is what I do? When I'm making 3.3 to 4.1 yards a carry, averaging? So, analytics, we talk about all these freaking analytics, right? Analytics say, if I'm running the damn ball and it's 4th and 1, or I'm sorry, 4th and inches, and I can't get inches, but I'm 3.3 to 4.1 yards a carry averaging on a good day, but I can't get inches. But you decide that you want to either throw Dalton's head in there after he just got a fucking concussion, or you want to throw the ball on 4th and 1. And I'm scratching my head like, where the fuck they do that at? Mind you, I'm not a coach, right? I've never been a coach. But I play football and I know the game. And I understand how situational football works. You can't do bonehead shit like that. And I'm sorry for cursing, but it's ridiculous. And it just frustrates me. And that's the biggest thing that frustrates me about this team. I hate when people keep saying, blaming everything on Jerry. Jerry is quiet right now. Jerry ain't talking. Jerry has stepped back. Have y'all not noticed that? You don't see Jerry Jones talking as much as he still does his radio show here and there, but he's not out there doing this like he did when Jason Garrett was here. Y'all don't notice the difference? Because I do. I forgot about Jerry on certain situations until they showed him in his suite. He trusts Mike McCarthy. And at this point, I know that Mike McCarthy has made some boneheaded, not even his decision, but he gets the headset, so he hears what's going on. So he's allowing certain things to go down. But I still have faith in Mike McCarthy, and I'm explaining that. You got to look at it from his perspective, too, coming in to this team and in the situation that he's in right now. So Cowboys are now 3-8. You lost now. You got swept by Washington. And now you're 1-3 in a division as far as your record goes. With this sorry-ass division, it's crazy that you can still get up there. The Giants won, but Daniel Jones got hurt. He had a bad hamstring injury, so who knows what's going to happen with that. You got injuries, you got COVID, you got everything going on right now. So I just try to explain to you fans the best way that I can. That, like, I just want you guys to understand what I'm saying and, like, try to, like, look outside of because I look at it like this. When you look at somebody that has a one-track mind and can only think one way, you're not going to succeed in life because you have to be analytical in life. You have to be able to look at this situation, look at this situation, look at this situation, this one and this one, and figure out what the best recourse or solution is to those situations. You understand what I'm saying? So that is what you're supposed to be looking at. Now, as far as this team goes this year, it's a COVID year. I don't give a shit if they go to the playoffs or not. I don't care. But my whole argument was if they were to win a division, you should always root for your team. You know, everybody's talking about team tank, and I'm just like, okay, where's the competitiveness? Where's the root for my team thing? It's like you just throwing a red flag. You still have games to go. Whether we're 3-8 or 0 whatever, I don't give a shit. You should always root for your team because other teams don't have a problem rooting for their team even when they suck. I only hear this from Cowboy fans talking about some tanking this and tanking that. I understand y'all want to get some picks, but understand that there's nobody in the top 10 that the Cowboys are going to pick because there's no player that will fit the mold for this team down there. You're not going to get a quarterback. You still got Dak. You got to pay him. You're not going to get a running back. You got Zeke. You got Pollard. You can get a running back in the 5th round and still back Zeke and Pollard up. The talent level for this team is between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and 5th rounds. That is the area that this team is going to find success. That's whether you got a tackle, offensive guard, safety, cornerback, whatever. That's what you're going to find in those situations. Now, understand that, And I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about with Zeke and everything like that. Everybody's, trying to say trade Zeke and get rid of Jalen. But did people not understand that, like, let's put Jalen Smith's situation in perspective. So people talking about they don't like Jalen no more. A lot of these same people are the ones that when he got drafted was like, hell yeah. I know he gonna have, a red shirt year because of his injury. He gonna come back and be the beast. I've heard these same fans say this, and y'all don't think I pay attention. I pay attention to certain y'all subscribers that be putting crazy comments on my shit that's talking about this player and that player. Y'all the same mofos that wanted it before. So now y'all playing both sides of the fence. Let me tell you something. I don't second fiddle nobody. I don't make excuses to nothing. I speak facts, and these are facts. And I can back up everything that I say. Every single thing. So at the end of the day, understand that with Jalen, you got a guy that when Leighton Vander Esch came in, we know what Jalen's good at, right? He's a hybrid type linebacker. He's not a 3-4 linebacker. He's too small for that. And you know with his drop foot, he can't cut. So why are you making him play? He can't play certain positions like that. Jalen Smith has what he does best is what they were doing before when Marinelli was here. That's why it worked. But you had Nolan come in here trying to change shit, make it into a 3-4. But what he didn't realize is, let me come in here and look at what I have with these players and see what they're good at. And then we can maximize that because we got talent on defense. Some of these guys are good. I know some of you guys don't like Xavier Woods. Okay, fine. If he's not here next year, there's no skin off my back. But what I'm saying is, I just feel like these players weren't given the opportunity to play their type of football. How do you think that all of a sudden D-Law's playing better and a lot of these guys on defensive line are playing better? Because Mike Nolan realized what he was doing wasn't working, and he went back to square one and was like, okay, well, let's do what you guys were doing. It's common freaking sense. Same thing with Jalen. You put Jalen in a position to win, he's gonna show up every time. Jalen Smith can make play. He's done it before. But we understand that this league is what have you done for me lately type of thing. So when Leighton Vander Esch went down, he wasn't practicing for what Leighton does. What Leighton does is what Leighton does. Jalen does what Jalen does. You don't interchange that. Now, I think that in the draft, they probably need to get another young stud to help these guys out to be like an equalizer for both of them, and I think that'd be awesome. I'm not trying to necessarily get rid of Jalen because, again, he's still a good linebacker, in my opinion, and Jerry was right. He's still a good player, and I don't listen to everything Jerry says because he's old, but at the same time, I agree with that. Now, you look at the play calls and stuff, that punt. That's Fossil, right? I know that Fossil was looking at it like this. Okay, our offense is getting stagnant because the offensive line can't block for Dalton. The defense is getting tired. We got to try something on special teams. So when they presented the idea to Mike McCarthy was like, fuck it, go ahead and do it. Now, I don't agree with the time that they did it. If they would have did that fake punt or whatever earlier in the game, it probably would have worked like gangbusters. But because you kind of like got to understand, like you're playing Russian roulette with the field. Don't do that right there at that point in the game at that yardage that you have inside your own 40-yard line. No, don't do that. I just think that was probably not the best play call right there. Mike McCarthy approved of it, but maybe he was just thinking, hey, we ain't got nothing else to lose at this point. Let's try it. We keep losing games. Maybe it'll work, maybe it not. I mean, they're just experimenting shit right now. But, I think John Fossil's thing is, hey, I'm a trickery type of guy. This is what I do. But one thing about Fossil that he needs to understand, too, is that you can't keep doing the same things over and over again. You got to switch it up because teams are going to start watching tape on you and notice a habit that you do. So some of these things that you need to just keep on the sideline and just do whenever you do it. Sorry this video is kind of long, but I had a lot of my mental I need to come out. And I didn't get a chance to do a video this weekend, so I'm basically just trying to throw it out there. But yeah, so with that being said, the last thing I want to say, going forward for next year, understand that like once we get out of this COVID, they get these vaccines together and we can come back to some normalcy, and maybe the Cowboys could get an off season next year. You get the people they could pick on the draft, because as of right now we got 12 draft picks regardless of what position we are right now. Um, Mike McCarthy hasn't even put him in his offensive system yet. Once he does that with Dak Prescott back and figure out what you're going to do with Tyron and Lyle, I think this team is going to come together next year. They're probably going to get rid of some of the guys that are not as good on this team, and Mike McCarthy is going to bring in more of what he wants. I like what they did in the draft last year and the picks that they got. Those guys are going to get better year two. They're going to get even more talent, and this team is going to come together. Again, we're not rebuilding. We're pieces away. And I just want you guys to understand and just relax and just think for a minute and say, you know what? Our team is losing this year, but it's COVID. Stop listening to them talking heads. Screw them. They can say the Cowboys suck all day. Yeah, we're playing bad, but I don't think that we're a bad team. I just think that we're just we have a lot of fucking injuries, and it is what it is. It happens. So just try to stay more on the positive side and try to just get this thing together. And together, guys, we can do something. So with that being said, Josh, your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real.